You know, Andrea, there's only 3 things a human being needs to survive.
What are they, Sean?
Food, shelter, and an Amazon Prime subscription.
Sean, what about water?
You can just order water off Amazon Prime.
Well, I guess you could do that with the rest of them,
No,
too.
you couldn't. But if you're a guitar player, you need more than that. You need a guitar. But what you might not know you need is a guitar preamp. Do you know what a preamp is? Well, we're going to find out today. So basically, when you have an interface, if you're recording guitar, this isn't just for recording. We're going to talk about a lot of uses for this. This is the Cranborne Audio Camden EC1, by the way. Basically, any microphone you use, any guitar direct out you use, you have to hit a preamp before it can be turned into digital information that a computer can read. You look very confused, but don't worry.
So isn't it just an interface?
No, it's not an interface. It goes before your interface. Now, most interfaces have preamps built in, but they come with varying quality. The thing that's really interesting is recently, the interfaces, the way that they transmit analog audio into digital data is actually really good, but some of the preamps leave something to be desired, in my opinion. So we're going to test this box out with what are we going to use for this for?
We ride.
We're going to ride Emeryld Ryder's track.
Emeryld Ryder's track.
You might be like, what does acoustic guitar sound like this? Got you. Electric guitar, got you. Bass, got you.
Drums, got you.
Violin, even? Maybe.
Even violin?
Wait and find out. We'll see what we can do. Let's ride. All right, so basically it is a single channel preamp. First of all, we're going to hear what it sounds like with a mic'd up acoustic guitar. Just to kind of start this Ryder track, it's just going to be kind of like an instrumental for Ryders 2, which we're really ramping up on. So this is basically just going to be a microphone and an acoustic guitar, simple as it gets. See how it sounds. So you can plug a 1/4 inch in, you can plug an XLR in. Another thing that's interesting about this is you can actually have different colors of the sound. You can just have this Mojo thing all the way off. Once it's all the way counterclockwise, it'll just bypass it. And if you want to dial in like some kind of analog color, like there's like a cream setting to kind of just make it like a thicker mid-rangey sound, or you can have the thump setting, which really kind of opens up the low end, which we're going to hear soon too. All right, so now we got the preamp set to full Mojo. So for full Mojo, I had to get my guy Pasha in here to lay some sick violin down. Also, if any of you are interested, the best violin teacher on the internet, right here, link in the description.
It is quarantine time. You know, if you want to learn something new, pick up a couple of new skills, and you know, get in love. This is so bad.
Fall in love and fall in love.
Fall in love.
If you want to fall in love, or just fall in love in general,
or just
learn
some stuff.
Link in the description. So one of my favorite parts about this is it has a link connection on the back, which is essentially like a through connection right here. So what I have going on here is I have a microphone that's gonna amp up my pedal board going through the amp, right? But I'm also sending a clean signal out the link input in the back into this outward pedal, which is actually like super cool for creating just like super atmospheric kind of catching, just kind of glitchy, you never really know what you're gonna get with this kind of thing, and then that's going direct into another preamp. So essentially, I'm kind of getting 2 signals out of 1 with this, and I think it sounds pretty cool. So now we're checking out the high Z input. I can just plug in directly to the front of the interface, rocking the bass out. So this is a good opportunity to use the Mojo circuitry, I suppose. I'm gonna dime it all the way out on the thump setting with the Rickenbacker in the bridge, because the Rick sounds great, but it does need a little bit of thump when you put that bridge position in. Again, just real quick, bridge, there's the neck, okay? So I love the bridge, specifically on a Rickenbacker 4003. This is gonna be just kind of playing simple bass line stuff along, making it thump. Got a high pass filter on, so you can filter out a lot of the low frequencies you're probably not going to use anyways. Polarity switch. The gain, which was very interesting to me, it has a stepped gain knob. So most gain knobs that I've seen, you can kind of just dial into wherever. This just has like specifically selected steps that you can get to, so you can recall it easily. I was a little concerned about this, but actually using it on all the different gain settings now, they actually really designed it pretty intelligently, and I didn't have any issues with it. All right, Drea, what's the most thumping thing that you can think of?
The bass drum?
You got it. So we're going to try to get that thump mojo all the way on and track some drums.
Let's get it.
So one thing that's special about this unit is that it also has a headphone section. A lot of times there won't be a spot for headphone things, but this is cool because it means you can hear exactly what you're putting into the box. So aside from recording stuff, what you could use this for is if you're in a live situation, you can almost use it as like a self-monitor thing, because like let's say you plug your guitar into the Camden, you could run it out to the soundboard, but also have your own headphone. If you want to play with headphones, you can like adjust your own volume, which I think is huge for live because you can never really get loud enough. So that's like an extra feature that you can actually use live, which, you know, again, it's always good to be able to, you know, hear yourself whenever you're doing anything. But generally, I usually monitor myself studio-wise just from the interface itself. The other cool thing about the headphone amp is you can actually route, there's an auxiliary input, so you can actually have something else feeding into those headphones before you get to the interface, like a click track or really just kind of like anything else, which might be really helpful if you're like a live looper to kind of like hear a click while you're doing something without having it go through the actual sound source. Hi, Andrea. What do you think? How does it sound?
I don't know. Like our track?
I think it sounded pretty good.
Hold on. I think it sounded great. The Ryders track is just going along well.
Yep.
It'll be on platform soon, won't it, Sean?
It really will be. So my honest thoughts on this preamp are as follows. Sounds great. Without the compressor, I cannot tell a distinction between the Universal Audio 6176 that I usually use. Again, what I usually use, it has a built-in compressor with it. This does not have a compressor. So all the stuff that you're going to hear in the final mix is going to have a compressor plug-in running on it. And the one thing that I didn't realize is how much I really use the compressor going into the preamp that I had used before this, right?
Yeah.
So using a compressor plug-in is important if you don't have an outboard compressor or something like that. It just kind of evens the sound out, is what that means.
Sure. Actually, I know what a compressor is.
There we go. I know, yeah, because you're a
learned.
rider. You ride.
I do.
Yeah. So I love the options on this. I love the link output that we used. The auxiliary input is cool. It has a bunch of features. And basically the fact that you can monitor yourself. The one thing that if I do have a criticism is the Mojo, as far as like the effect that you can dial in with like the cream and the thump. I feel like when it's not maxed out, I don't really notice a huge difference. I think maybe they could just kind of saturate a little bit more to kind of give a little more vibe. Yeah, because I wasn't really feeling like a huge range of just dialing that kind of extra in, but that just could be my trash ears. But so that'd be my one, feedback that I would give to them. But otherwise, pretty cool piece of kit. What do you think?
Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining us on another gear demo.
We'll talk to you soon. If you have any questions or comments, hit us up in the comment section.
Go stream Emeryld Ryders.
That's right. And
That's
be on the
the most important
lookout
thing.
for new riders coming up soon.